crafty friends, welcome back to day 14 of the spooky and sweet Halloween series going on right now. We have 3 more videos after today as part of the series, and after that I will be doing some fall cards plus throwing in some Halloween cards here and there. I will know there will be some Halloween cards on my blog, and then closer to Halloween, we'll be kicking off the Christmas card series for this year. We're going to be using the Spooky stamp set and the coordinating dies from scrapbook.com, the Happy Halloween banner dies, the Ghost dies, and the Willow Lane pattern paper. We're going to do our coloring first to get that out of the way. And I've already stamped out my images. I've stamped those out in antique linen distress ink. So I'm going to use YO 2.7 and YO 2.5 because this is going to match our pattern paper. And I'm going to do this on my roof. Make sure I got the right side. It's actually going to give me like a no line look. So I'm going to come under our little scallops here. And just add in a little bit of color underneath those. Just like so. I can actually, no one will ever know we can make our own. I'm gonna come down the side on this side. And over here, we're gonna come down on that side over there. I did let the ink dry a little bit before I started my coloring. Now I'm gonna come in with the 2.5. And this is gonna be my mid-tone. So I'm gonna go around my little house here. Let's save room for our little highlight. Do that side. And we'll blend this side out. Now I will switch to YO 2.3. That's going to be my lightest color today. I'll just come in and blend that out. I just thought that would match the pattern paper really well. Now I'm going to go with O 2.7. And I'm going to go ahead and just color my pumpkins. So I'm going to add that in as my darkest color. I'm going to come up around my stem. I'm not sure if we're using these or not, but I thought I might need some. So I went ahead and stamped these out. I'm going to go ahead and go around the bottom here. The problem with no line coloring is it looks bad until it doesn't. Okay, we'll go back and do our door. That same color combo. Go right along the edge. Now I'm going to go with OR 1.6. I'm going to go ahead and blend that out on the door. And that will be my lightest color on that door right there, because it is such a tiny area. Besides those windows in it. And actually, I could probably just color right over those. And it will be okay. All right. Next, I'm going to switch to RO 1.3. I'm going to put that right in the center of our little door. Okay, we are going to color our little ghost over here because he is going to show up. So we will color him. I'm just going to do super easy. I'm just going to do a cool gray CG1 and then CG0 to just blend that out. Okay. We're going to do our lights in our house, and we're going to do Y1.2. So we're just going to come around the edge. And I'm not even going to worry about that little bat. So it's Y1.2, and then I'll blend that out with Y1.1. Just want to keep it really light and simple. YO 2.7 and do the top of our little house here. And we'll blend that out with our YO 2.5 since I forgot it. And I'm just going to do the two colors right there. Okay, for our house, I'm going to go WG9. We're going to do some warm gray colors. So I'm going to turn that paper where I can kind of get at it a little bit better. Put that dark shadow in there. That dark shadow right underneath that roof. And then we'll add our dark under that roof up there. And then we'll have it dark on this side because that is back away. It's set back from the other part of the house, so we would have a shadow up under there. That's all of the 9 we're going to use, and I'll switch to WG7. I'm just going to pull that down. I'm not really worried about those banners. I'm going to pull this 7 all the way down the side here. And underneath, right there. That way, it will help us kind of ground our house. So I'm going to flick in a little bit of color right there so that we have something to blend into. We'll go ahead and do our other side over here. I'm just going to come right over our little fence. We can always put those back in with the white gel pen. Okay, now I'm going to switch to WG5. And I'll start blending all that out. I'm going with a center highlight on our house. That way, it's going to be nice and light down through there. Come around this window. Go on this side. On that side of the house. Up around our little steps. This is one thing I have learned about OLO markers, is the longer they set, as you are blending with them, they seem to blend out even more as they are drying. So I assume that has to do with the ink technology that they use. I don't know for sure, but that's the way I have felt. Change my little window right there a little bit. Right, this side over here. We'll blend out this other section of our house. Just pull that color right on out. Now I'm going to switch to WG3 as my lightest color. And I could have easily just colored a base color with this to begin with, but I didn't. So there's that. Around this side of our little house over here, blend that edge in. Do the same thing on our other side. That's the beautiful thing about the grays, is you can kind of go over stuff. For my steps, I'm just going to go in with Cool Gray 1 and just add a little bit of color in there. Nothing major. Now I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to come in and add that fence back in, and I'm just going to kind of sketch right over our little lines. Just draw those in. I could use the black, but now I'd have to wait for that gel pen to dry so I could switch it. We might switch it. Add a little detail to this up here. Let's go right around that. I'm just going to clean up any of our little lines right there. Kind of frame in our windows. Just go right over our panes there. That side of the window. I'll just add a little bit of detail work. I have this out. And you can see how that's already started to blend a little bit more than what it was. I am going to come in my black Jelly Roll pen. And I will come over our little gate or fence and go over it in black. That way. I'll add that detail back in. And I can actually add that up here as well in our weather vane. And I'll do that window right there. And then I'm going to add a little doorknob. Has to have a doorknob, right? And then I will darken our little ghost eyes. Oh. We're going to go over our little streamers here. I'm just going to draw those little pennants right back in there. And I can still see them, so. All right, I'm going to set this to the side, let it dry, and then I'll cut those out, and we're going to work on our card base. Okay, I have a piece of hammer mill cardstock for the inside of my card. I have a strip of the pattern paper. We're going to go ahead and put that on in that. And we'll add some liquid glue behind there. And I'm just going to run that the entire length of the bottom. That's going to be for the inside of my card. And I will go ahead and trim that off. I've got a piece of pitch black cardstock, cut it 4 1/4 by 11. That's going to be for my card base. I've scored it at 5 1/2. I'm going to take my glue press and add our liquid glue on this panel. And I've just recently got this. Y'all have noticed, I'm sure, in the videos. It's okay. I like it so far. It's a little different to get used to, but if you want me to do a review on it, let me know. And I will try to do that. All right, so there is my card front or card base. Now I'm going to use that same ghost pattern paper from the Willow Lane paper pad. I will attach that onto the front of my card. My black matte layers and my pattern paper layers. And then I have another pattern paper layer that's going to go on the base. And I forgot to cut the mat for that. Oh, maybe I did cut the mat for that. I did. I'm just using that other piece of paper. I forgot. All right, this is cut. Let me find my notes. I cut this piece at 1 1/8 by 3. I'm sorry, 1 3/8 by 3 7/8, and my matte layer is 1 1/2 by 4. And again, I'm using just the pattern paper from the Willow Lane paper pad from scrapbook.com to mat everything with. I'm keeping it super simple. We're going to add this to the center of our card. Now I've got my other two pieces here. This one is cut at 1 1/4 by 4. And my pattern paper is cut at 1 1/8 by 3 5/8. So we'll go ahead and add those up. And I'm really considering to switch one of the patterns around. So we just have a nice little 1/16 of an inch margin around there. That was going to go up right there. My other pattern paper is cut at 1 3/8 by 3 1 1/8 by 3 3/8, and this one is cut at 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. That's the problem with pattern paper. You can't decide which side to use. I'm just going to keep it simple. Use the side we've already been using. So I'll layer that up. Let's see, I need some scraps. So I'm just going to attach some scrap cards, pattern paper on here. Probably need to do 2 layers. We'll have to do some scraps for this as well. Luckily, we have enough scraps. It is no problem. And that was actually a piece that was going to get thrown away anyway. So now we're going to add that down on there. Make sure that's nice and straight. Then we'll add our scraps on this side. And we'll add that to our card front. Let's make sure we have that going the right way. It's going to go kind of up in there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my die cutting, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all my die cutting done. So I need to pull in my pieces here so that we can start arranging everything. I'm going to do my sentiment next. I've already done part of it. So we're going to go ahead and do our other part together. I've already die cut the banners and the letters for us, and I just use that same pattern paper that we have already used. That way it saved us some time. So we're just going to dot on. I'm just barely pulling the trigger of the glue press. And then I find it easier to come in upside down sometimes. The die cut out both the banner and you get a die for the banner and each of the words. The words are all on one die. Like Happy's on one die, Halloween's on one die, and then you just pop the little letters out. So I made it super easy. I didn't have to hunt for anything. Nothing like that. And by the way, if you're wondering, these are the stack and sort trays from scrapbook.com. I love them. They are great for organizing your projects. And they just stack up together. And these are the small. And then I have the large as well. And these stack right up inside of that. So I can have everything for one project right in there. I'm going to pull this back over. And we're going to decide how we're going to put our sentiment. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that off this one side. So I'm going to add my liquid glue to that. That way it'd be easy to just get everything together. So I'll go ahead and place that down. There. And then this one I'll just have come in right in there. Just gonna run that little bead of glue along my little banner and my little words. And I didn't think I needed this. I was offered one last year, and I was when they came out, and I was like, oh no, I don't need that. I'm happy with my Barely Art Glue. Yeah, well, I needed it. I did not realize how bad I needed it until after I got it. It has been it's a lifesaver. Okay, there's my little sentiment. And then my little house, I'm gonna put right in there. And I'm gonna pop it up using some foam dimension from scrapbook.com. Let's see. These are the 2mm foam squares. Gonna add those on there. And you get a lot of them. So go ahead and peel that off. Then I can pop that down. I do have my little ghost we're gonna add. And I have one more ghost that we need to fix. I've cut these out of Vellum. And so I need my Craft Pro pickup tool. So I need to take and dot a little bit of glue for the eye, where the eyes are gonna go. And these are these teeny pieces right there. We are gonna add our little ghost, and I'm going to take and dot a little bit of glue right behind my eyes of my ghost as I pull that one eye off. Always the case. And this one I'm gonna put over here. I'm just gonna add that little bit of glue, and that should be enough to hold them down. I do want him to be able to, we can lift some of that up. I actually was going to add some and glow-in-the-dark embossing powder onto them, but I could not find my glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. I do not know where it went to. I'm going to tuck this one right under there. Okay, let me trim off. I'm going to tuck him up under our house right here. That way it'll help that stay down a little bit. Then we're going to pull up his little arms as well. And then I will trim off the excess of our banners. And let me add a little dot of glue right there. Okay, I'm going to come in and add a little bit more detail to our house. Just add a little bit more, just a few little more highlights. I'm going to add a little highlight to our ghost as well. Just means I have to be super careful when I'm taking photos because it's wet. And that vellum's going to stay wet a little bit longer. Okay, there is a look at my card. I'll hold it up to the camera for y'all. And there's a look at the inside, just super simple. I hope y'all like this video, and I will see you in day 15 tomorrow. And if you like this video, you're probably gonna like the one coming up right about there.